This is the last video in the series that explains the output of Biblioshiny. I'll be covering conceptual structure, intellectual structure, and social structure. The conceptual structure, the first thing within conceptual structure is co-occurrence network. These are two terms which occur together. Here, there are number of things in which you can look at co-occurrence network. You can look at abstracts or keywords or authors keywords or titles. In this case, I have looked at abstracts, and you can see which are the keywords that are coming together. Now, out here, when you look at these keywords, the size of the keyword shows how frequently it is occurring, and the thickness of the lines within them shows how frequently the two of them are occurring. This is just a visual representation. Once again, gives the various themes your field is generally generally covering. Thematic network is something similar in a different format. You get to see the density and centrality of different themes. The centrality of a theme is how important the theme is. In fact, I'll cover the definition of centrality and density within this document out here. So the dense centrality means the importance of the theme in the entire research field, and density is the measure of the extent of theme's development. So if the theme is highly developed, it is on the right hand side, and if it is highly important, it is on the top. So themes which are occurring here are most very well developed and also very central, which is the development is high and the importance of that theme is high. Now out here, as we can see, you can change various things on the left hand side and you get to see different things. Out here you see that rankings, these are well developed themes, but their importance within the overall area is not as high, which is understood. Most of these themes out here are generally themes which are more niche, like rankings, like gender. These are more of the popular themes where the development is high, but the importance is continuing to increase, and they will themes generally tend to move from here to finally this quadrant. And research productivity, impact, and this is a theme which will tend to, over a period of time, move in the diagonal direction right to this stage. The next thing which is covered in this thing is the thematic evaluation. Here you get to see how various themes have evolved over a period of time within the area of your study. You can have different time slices here, like in this case, if we were to change and make it 2 time slices, and you have a time slice at 2013 and 2016, or maybe 2012 and 2016. So one slice is when the theme had just evolved. Between 12 to 16, if you had seen in one of the graphs, there was a certain increase or spike in the number of papers, and finally there was a second increase in around 2016. So I am going to be using these as time slices to see how conceptually the theme has evolved within these 3 time slices. Now you can see out here, the way it is showing is that there was gender, research productivity, scientists, higher education, impact, and universities have moved, and these themes have sort of culminated to higher education, research productivity, collaboration, management, impact, and research performance. And so this is, you will get some idea, but what the one which I really find quite useful to understand is factorial analysis. This gives the broad area or the set of areas that your study has. You can see out here, there is one set of area out here and the other one is here. This is just certain things around DA, which is data development analysis and economics, and most it is just one factor which is pretty much there in this field. And that's the reason is the search term. The search term was basically very tightly integrated. But sometimes you want to analyze not just one particular domain, but you example, you want to analyze a journal and what a kind of papers that it carries. Then you will have many factors and many sets of different kinds of papers, and then you will be able to suppose you are analyzing a journal for last 20 years, you will get those things. But in your case, if you were to select one particular theme, generally to be one factor, you will be able to understand what are the key terms which are there, and based on the previous thing and on documents where you got to see the word cloud plus factorial analysis, one can start evolving some of the themes that are appearing in the literature that you are studying. The intellectual structure is mainly, of course, citation networks. These are networks of people who have cited each other. More than this particular graph, I find the historiography graph quite useful. This graph shows as how different authors have cited each other. You can change the sizes out here, which I'm not going to do, but different authors, how over a period of time they have cited each other. So that's very useful to understand how the important authors have been citing each other and how the theme has been evolving, or the research area has been evolving. This is the social structure. This is the collaborations, and which are the authors who have collaborated with each other comes out here in a form of a graph. You can, in many of these things, I have not covered the tables, but there are also tables which essentially cover the same thing in a more of a text format. Is in terms of, in this case, this was a collaboration network between authors, and this is the collaboration network as far as the overall world is concerned. Um, uh, this collaboration of world map can be useful, especially if there are inter-country collaborations which are strong. And some of these lines show that there are certain collaborations from the US to China and certain ones across various countries. There's once again a table and which can be reviewed. So this gives a good idea on how on the and a good macro view on your research area. Post this, one needs to get more micro to understand each article which has been published, and that would be my next video on the subject.